brothers and sisters, to increase your iman. Read the miracle, recite the Qur'an. Recite it every day and do read it loud. The verses of Qur'an are all Muslims' pride. This miracle was revealed over a long time span, sent from Allah to an angel, then to a man. That man was Muhammad, the best of creation.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والحمد لله رب العالمين، والعاقبة للمتقين، ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين، وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear viewers everywhere, welcome to a new episode in our series of Correct Your Recitation. I'd like to welcome our studio guests as well, Sheikh Abdul Khaliq. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for joining us. Izzat, Muhammad, and Fahim. Appreciate you guys joining us. Today, inshallah, we resume the recitation and the explanation of some ayat of Surat Al-Ahqaaf, the 26th part of the Qur'an, from ayah number 15 through ayah number 19, inshallah. Without any further ado, I would like to ask Sheikh Abdul Khaliq to start reciting, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. ووصينا الإنسان بوالديه إحسانا حملته أمه كرها ووضعته كرها وحمله وفصاله 30 شهرا حتى إذا بلغ أشده وبلغ 40 سنة قال رب أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وأصلح لي في ذريتي إني تبت إليك وإني من المسلمين. أولئك الذين نتقبل عنهم أحسن ما عملوا ونتجاوز عن سيئاتهم في أصحاب الجنة وعد الصدق الذي كانوا يوعدون. والذي قال لوالديه أف لكما أتعدانني أن أخرج وقد خلت القرون من قبلي وهما يستغيثان الله ويلك آمن إن وعد الله حق فيقول ما هذا إلا أساطير الأولين. أولئك الذين حق عليهم القول في قد خلت من قبلهم من الجن والإنس إنهم كانوا خاسرين. ولكل درجات مما عملوا وليوفيهم أعمالهم وهم لا يظلمون.
بارك الله فيك, جزاك الله خيرا. In ayah number 15, Allah the Almighty begins with commanding us to be dutiful to our parents. And this is not the first time. In Surah Al-Isra, in ayah number 23, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. And in Surah Luqman, there is another command to be dutiful to the parents. And in Surah An-Nisa, وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. So there are many commands in the Qur'an, and normally the command of being dutiful to one's parents follows the command of worshipping Allah alone. That shows us the extent of the importance and significance of being dutiful to our parents, being kind to them, even if those parents were sinners, were disobedient to Allah. You know what? Even if they were non-believers. وَإِنْ جَاهَدَاكَ عَلَىٰ أَن تُشْرِكَ بِي مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ. Even if they struggle with you to deviate you, to hinder you from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it doesn't mean that you should boycott them. It doesn't mean that you're allowed to sever your relationship with them. No. Give them a good company in the dunya. Obey them in any command other than trying to persuade you or hinder you from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or change your faith. So no one have an excuse, brothers and sisters. Being dutiful to our parents, being obedient to them, being kind to them is a divine command that its opposite is considered not just a major sin, but one of the destructive sins, which is known as عقوق الوالدين. Repeatedly, when the Prophet ﷺ was asked about أكبر الكبائر, Akbar is the greatest, Al-Kabair is the major sins. Major sins include adultery, dealing with interest, drinking, gambling, you name it. Amongst the worst of the major sins, the greatest of the major sins, is to be undutiful to one's parents. And in some ahadith, it was mentioned right after disbelief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-ishraku billahi wa uququl walidaini. To disbelieve in Allah, to associate with Allah in worship. And number two, to be undutiful to your parents, to be rude to them. Then you find in Surah Al-Isra, Allah the Almighty says, إِمَّا يَبْلُغَنَّ عِنْدَكَ الْكِبَرَ أَحَدُهُمَا أَوْ كِلَاهُمَا. Whenever both of them reach and attain an old age, they become senile, they become handicapped, they become depending on you physically, financially, and morally. فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا. But before that he said أَحَدُهُمَا أَوْ كِلَاهُمَا, whether one of them or both of them. فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ. Don't you dare to say to any of them off. Off isn't a word. Off is an expression of being offended, of being angry, but you don't want to say a bad word, so rather say off. This is a major sin. If it is said to your parents, when an employee is very angry with his manager, with his employer, he doesn't dare to say a word because he is afraid that somebody might hear him and he might be penalized or fired or whatever. So, it's not a word. He blows air. That's a major sin if you happen to do that to your parents. And if this is the least, then what about insulting them, cursing them, or laying a hand on any of them? That's even worse. That's a major sin. That's a destructive sin. Let's see what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in this ayah. Since we said it is mentioned in Surah An-Nisa, mentioned in Surah Al-Isra, it's mentioned in Surah Luqman, and it is mentioned in Surah Al-Ahqaaf. وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ إِحْسَانًا. There are some very important vocabulary I would like to discuss with you so that we can comprehend the general meaning. The word إِحْسَانًا, al-ihsan means kindness and good treatment. The word wassa means enjoined. Wassayna, we enjoin upon al-insan, every mankind, or the one who listens to our commands, the believers and the obedience. What about the word kurha, that is in ayah number 15? I hope that we can see it on the screen. The word kurha, al-kurh means the hardship, the pain, and that is different than al-ikrah. Al-ikrah means forcing somebody to do or not to do. And there is al-kurh in a sense that you hate it. You hate somebody. So here kurhan is you're bearing pain and nobody likes the pain. But because the pain is due to conceiving, due to bearing the child, and the labor pain, the mother is bearing the pain for the sake of what? Of having a child. That is kurhan. Then fisaluhu, al-fisal, refers to the weaning. It takes 2 years to breastfeed the child. In Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah the Almighty said, وَالْوَالِدَاتُ يُرْضِعْنَ أَوْلَادَهُنَّ حَوْلَيْنِ كَامِلَيْنِ لِمَنْ أَرَادَ أَنْ يُتِمَّ الرَّضَاعَ. So al-fisal is the weaning. The word أَوْزِعْنِي, أَوْزِعْنِي, that is in ayah number 15 as well. أَوْزِعْنِي means grant me the ability to do. Inspire me to do. So it's a dua, an invocation. You're asking Allah to give you the power to do what? We will learn. نَتَجَاوَزُ in ayah number 16. نَتَجَاوَز is we overlook. Now we don't need to keep saying that a noon here for the plural refers to the royal we. Allah the Almighty is using the royal we. We overlook. It is singular. That is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But this is the royal we. And the word, we learned the word of and what it means. Then we have the word ukhraja, which means to be raised up or to be resurrected. As far as the word asatir, plural of ustura, which means tales. Okay? وَيَوْمَ يُعْرَضُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا عَلَى النَّارِ. This is concerning on the day when the disbelievers will be exposed to fire. Another word, أَذْهَبْتُمْ, but that is in ayah number 20, which means wasted or consumed all. You finished them all. Now, we would like to look into the ayah, having in mind the vocabulary which we studied earlier. وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ إِحْسَانًا. And in another ayah, وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ حُسْنًا, حُسْنًا and إِحْسَانًا, goodness and kindness. In the hadith, إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَتَبَ الْإِحْسَانَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. Al-ihsan is kindness and gentleness. Now, more specifically, when you deal with your parents, you should be most kind. You should be very gentle. This is what Allah enjoined. And the word wasiyah here, it is not like recommended. Like you just recommend to somebody what to do or what not to do. No. وَوَصَّيْنَا, we enjoined, we made it obligatory. It's a must. It is a duty for everyone. Because today you are a child, so it is a duty upon you to be kind to your parents, and tomorrow you become a parent, and you will become senile, and it is a duty upon your children to become good and kind to you. حَمَلَتْهُ أُمُّهُ كُرْهًا وَوَضَعَتْهُ كُرْهًا. So in the first segment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enjoined man to be kind to his parents. Then He specified one of the parents with a special treatment. Why? With an extra care. Why? Because she suffered most. حَمَلَتْهُ أُمُّهُ. Al-haml is conceiving. So the mother bears a child, kurhan, in hardship. وَوَضَعَتْهُ كُرْهًا. And also while giving birth, there was pain, labor pain, and hardship. And that's why Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam considered a woman who dies while giving birth as a martyr. This is a lot of pain. So she is considered a martyr. She's a shaheeda. وَحَمْلُهُ وَفِصَالُهُ ثَلَاثُونَ شَهْرًا. The period of pregnancy, conceiving, in addition to breastfeeding altogether, is 30 months. ثَلَاثُونَ شَهْرًا. But in Surah Luqman, you've memorized the Qur'an, it says وَفِصَالُهُ فِي عَامَيْنِ. And the weaning is in 2 years. This is the maximum and what is recommended. Because in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah the Almighty says, لِمَنْ أَرَادَ أَن يُتِمَّ الرَّضَاعَ, for those parents who would like to complete the course of breastfeeding. But it could be earlier, depending on whether the child is in need for more breastfeeding or not. And sometimes the child, the baby himself or herself, refuse to take the breast milk anymore. And they rely on full eating. They rely fully on eating. So here we have what is recommended is 2 years for breastfeeding, then the weaning afterward. And that's why we say, when a woman breastfeeds a child, so that the child becomes like her son or like her daughter due to suckling, provided she breastfeeds him 5 full times, 5 fulfilling times, and provided that breastfeeding should be before the weaning age. So if the child is 3, 4, or 5 and is relying only on eating, and she breastfeeds him, or she puts the milk from the breast in a cup and he drinks a whole glass of milk 5 times, 10 times, that would not make the child your son due to suckling, because it is provided it should be during the breastfeeding period and before the weaning. Well, the ayah of Surah Luqman gives us, along with the ayah of Surah Al-Ahqaaf, a very comprehensive meaning, which is, if we're talking about the pregnancy, along with the breastfeeding time, altogether 30 a month. He said, 30 شهرا. Then take out of that, وَفِصَالُهُ فِي عَامَيْنِ of Surah Luqman. And the weaning will be up to 2 years. To 2 years, we're talking about 24 months. 24 months out of the 30 remains for us what? 6 months. So why are you making this calculation? We're all good in math, yeah. But look at this. Remember with me now. What remains out of the period of the pregnancy, conceiving, and breastfeeding together is 30 months. And the breastfeeding itself is recommended 24 months. So what remains for us? 6 months out of the 30, which means that is the least period of pregnancy, which means, and they figured this out before the premature delivery, before they figured any of that, that a woman may give birth, if she is pregnant, only 6 months after she conceived. This is what we call it, premature child. What happened is there was a case during Uthman ibn Affan when he was the caliph. A man married a woman, and 6 months from the day that he married her, she gave birth. And they were not used to that. It was odd. The pregnancy was 9 months. And she was lucky enough to conceive on the same night that they consummated the marriage. So 6 months exactly from the night that they consummated the marriage, she gave birth. So the husband was in doubt. And he thought that it means that she had a relationship prior to marriage. How come that 6 months after we got married, you give birth? So he took the case to Uthman ibn Affan, and Uthman ibn Affan ordered the woman to be punished for the crime of adultery. How could you give birth before 9 months? Only for 6 months, unless if you have committed an illicit relationship. This child is out of wedlock. And he ordered that she should be punished. Ali ibn Abi Talib was walking in, and he heard the case. He said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, wait a minute. She gave birth after 6 months of marriage. He said, yeah. He said, well, this is what the Qur'an says. The Qur'an says, وَحَمْلُهُ وَفِصَالُهُ 30 شهرا. Altogether, 30 months. Then he said in Surah Luqman, وَفِصَالُهُ فِي عَامَيْنِ. And the breastfeeding is 2 years. 24 months out of the 30 remains for us 6 months, which is the least period of conception, of pregnancy. Uthman ibn Affan applauded the understanding and the comprehension of Ali ibn Abi Talib, may Allah be pleased with him, and he released the woman. حتى إذا بلغ أشده وبلغ 40 سنة, till he attains his strength. And what is the strength, age, and period of time? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and reaches 40 years. So that means the peak, the highest peak of strength in our lifespan is whenever you are 40. Subhanallah, in the hadith that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that is the age during which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to appoint the prophets for the prophethood, the age of 40. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam turned 40 and in the cave he received the wahy. And similarly, most of the prophets before Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam at the age of 40. That is known as the age of strength. وَبَلَغَ أَشُدَّهُ, and he attains his strength. وَبَلَغَ 40 سَنَةً. Then Allah recommends for us that when we make it to the 40, that we should make a dua. The dua is to say, رَبِّ أَوْزِعْنِي أَنْ أَشْكُرَ نِعْمَتَكَ الَّتِي أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيَّ وَعَلَى وَالِدَيَّ. That is the first segment of the dua. Rabbi, my Lord, أَوْزِعْنِي, give me the power, inspire me enough to be grateful to you, to be thankful to you. For what? For the favors that you bestowed upon me, وَعَلَى وَالِدَيَّ, and upon my parents. Look at the first segment of the dua. You're asking Allah to inspire you, to give you the ability to be grateful to Him. That means even the ibadah we do, Muhammad, even the acts of worship, including being grateful to Allah, isn't something that you do on your own. Rather, it is something to be sought from Allah. You ask Allah to help you to be grateful. You ask Allah to assist you to get up at night to pray. You ask Allah to help you to observe fasting. You ask Allah to help. Oh, well, in the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said to Mu'adh ibn Jabal, may Allah be pleased with him, "O Mu'adh, I love you. So make sure that after every prayer you should say, Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik. Because I love you, I'm going to give you a very good advice. After the prayer, invoke Allah as follows. O Allah, help me, assist me, a'inni ala, to do what? Dhikrika, to celebrate your praise. Wa shukrika, help me to be grateful to you, to be thankful to you. Wa husni ibadatik, and help me to perfect my worship to you. So when we do ibadah, we should turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with thanks, that thank you Allah for helping me to worship you. The gratitude isn't only because we received the favor and we're able to eat and drink and buy new clothes or receive a child. No, the gratitude and the thanks is also due because Allah inspired me and gave me the ability to fulfill some of His rights, or to be grateful to Him, or to offer the ibadah properly. So I say, thank you Allah. In Surah Hud, Shu'aib alayhi salam said, وَمَا تَوْفِيقِي إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ تَوَكَّلْتُ وَإِلَيْهِ أُنِيبُ. He said, my success, if I achieve any success, it is only because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So your success in the dunya or in the deen, in fulfilling in ibadah, in being grateful, in saying thank you Allah, it is because of the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is the first segment of the dua. رَبِّ أَوْزِعْنِي أَنْ أَشْكُرَ نِعْمَتَكَ الَّتِي أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيَّ وَعَلَى وَالِدَيَّ. Brothers and sisters, whether a man or a woman, any of you who is attaining this age, or have already attained it and did not say the dua, or about to attain this age, to get 40 or turn 40, prepare yourselves to say, رَبِّ أَوْزِعْنِي أَنْ أَشْكُرَ نِعْمَتَكَ الَّتِي أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيَّ وَعَلَى وَالِدَيَّ. That is the first segment. Second segment, وَأَنْ أَعْمَلَ صَالِحًا تَرْضَاهُ, and also give me the ability to do good deeds that will please you, that will make you happy with me. Then the next segment, وَأَصْلِحْ لِي فِي ذُرِّيَّتِي. So he himself was dutiful and kind to his parents, and now he's worried about his offspring. أَصْلِحْ لِي فِي ذُرِّيَّتِي, make my offspring righteous as well. إِنِّي تُبْتُ إِلَيْكَ وَإِنِّي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. This dua, in order to be accepted, one has to turn to Allah with sincere repentance and to declare that, oh Allah, I am indeed one of the Muslims. I submit myself unto you. So the etiquette of making dua, praising Allah, glorifying Allah, and declaring your tawbah, then you make this beautiful dua. رَبِّ أَوْزِعْنِي أَنْ أَشْكُرَ نِعْمَتَكَ الَّتِي أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيَّ وَعَلَى وَالِدَيَّ. 1. وَأَنْ أَعْمَلَ صَالِحًا تَرْضَى, and to make good deeds that will please you. 2. وَأَصْلِحْ لِي فِي ذُرِّيَّتِي, and make my offspring righteous, healthy, smart, to make them good, to make them successful in the dunya in the deen, on every aspect. You know, Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu, Ali ibn Abi Talib, may Allah be pleased with him, said, this ayah was revealed concerning Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with him. This is a gift to the Shia, who believe that Ali and Abu Bakr were not on the same page, you know. Ali ibn Abi Talib says this ayah was revealed concerning Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, and it fits perfectly Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Listen to what it says. Radiyallahu anhu. He said there was not a single person of the Muhajirin whose both parents entered Islam but Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. So he was dutiful to them. And his father was Abu Quhafa and his mother was Khayr. Her name was Salma. May Allah be pleased with him and his parents. Listen to this. Then furthermore he said, and there was not a single companion of the Prophet ﷺ whose origin and offspring all accepted Islam but Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. So both his parents, Abu Quhafa and Khayr, the parents of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, and all the children of Abu Bakr, Abdullah, Abdul Rahman, Asma, Aisha, they all accepted Islam and they became of the great companions of the Prophet ﷺ. Not only that, one of his daughters is one of the mothers of the believers. So no one made this criterion and fits that prescription other than Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu. That was at this time. But this ayah is a commendation for everyone to follow the footsteps of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu, when he was dutiful to his parents. And he made dua, and his dua was accepted, as the companion said. He made the dua when he said, رَبِّ أَوْزِعْنِي أَنْ أَشْكُرَ نِعْمَتَكَ الَّتِي أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيَّ وَعَلَى وَالِدَيَّ وَأَنْ أَعْمَلَ صَالِحًا تَرْضَاهُ. And inspire me to do good deeds that will please you. في الصحيح, in the sound hadith, the Prophet ﷺ once in the morning asked the companions in the masjid, مَنْ أَصْبَحَ مِنْكُمُ الْيَوْمَ صَائِمًا? Who's fasting today? So Abu Bakr as-Siddiq said, me, Ya Rasulullah. He said, مَنْ تَبِعَ مِنْكُمُ الْيَوْمَ جِنَازَةً? Who followed a funeral today to the burial place, or for Salatul Jinaza? And Abu Bakr as-Siddiq said, me, Ya Rasulullah. He said, and who gave a charity today? He said, me, Ya Rasulullah. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, and who visited a sick person today? He said, me, Ya Rasulullah. So the Prophet ﷺ remarked, saying, مَا اجْتَمَعْنَا فِي امْرِئٍ إِلَّا أَدْخَلْنَهُ الْجَنَّةِ. Listen to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about such person, whether Abu Bakr as-Siddiq or more general, any person who will imitate Abu Bakr and do like him. He said, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ نَتَقَبَّلُ عَنْهُمْ أَحْسَنَ مَا عَمِلُوا. Such people whom we will accept from them the best of their deeds, the best of what they did. وَنَتَجَاوَزُ عَنْ سَيِّئَاتِهِمْ. And we will overlook their bad deeds, if they have any. فِي أَصْحَابِ الْجَنَّةِ. Among the dwellers of paradise, a promise of truth which they have been promised. وَعْدَ الصِّدْقِ الَّذِي كَانُوا يُوعَدُونَ. Many of the companions and many of the commentators of the Qur'an, they said this ayah and the following promise was regarding Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with him. And furthermore, we also say that even if it was revealed concerning one person, but this is an instruction for the entire ummah to follow. The following two ayat will be the opposite of the previous two ayat, which we'll be discussing inshallah in the next episode, because we already ran out of time for this segment. We'll take a short break, and inshallah we'll be back in a few minutes to start receiving your calls for those who would like to recite these ayat with us. Stay tuned.
Every day and do read it loud.
Let's start from where they started. Who are they? the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. When they started learning the religion of Islam, they started with the Aqidah, the belief system, faith. Brothers and sisters in Islam, dear viewers, the Prophet ﷺ spent 13 years in Mecca teaching that generation the belief system, the Aqidah. Aisha radiallahu anha confirms this by saying, the first things which were revealed from the Qur'an was matters of Aqidah. Who is Allah? Jannah, paradise and hell. Jundub ibn Abdullah al-Bajali, may Allah be pleased with him, said, we learned the belief system, we learned the Iman, we learned the Aqidah, then we learned the Qur'an, Brothers and sisters in Islam, nowadays, a lot of our cultural practices, a lot of our societal norms are against our belief system. And the reason why we're falling into this, because we did not start from where they started.
Your questions and comments mean a lot to Huda TV crew, so please don't hesitate to contact us on social media. On Facebook, www.facebook.com/huda.tv. On YouTube, www.youtube.com/hudatv. On Twitter, @Huda TV channel. And on our official website, www.huda.tv. You can watch Huda TV on the Nilesat on the following parameters. Frequency 11747. Huda TV is also now available for broadcast on the Galaxy 19 satellite in the United States of America on the following parameters. Satellite Galaxy 19, frequency 12184.
Recite it every day and do read it loud.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. Before we begin, a quick reminder with our phone numbers: area code 002-0238-555-249, and the other number, same area code, then 01125008679. Email address is tajweed@huda.tv. While waiting for your calls, inshallah, we'll begin with our studio guest, Izzat, from ayah number 15, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ووصينا الإنسان بوالديه إحسانا حملته أمه كرها ووضعته كرها وحمله وفصاله 30 شهرا حتى إذا بلغ أشده وبلغ 40 سنة قال رب أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وأصلح لي في ذريتي إني تبت إليك وإني من المسلمين أولئك الذين نتقبل عنهم أحسن ما عملوا ونتجاوز عن سيئاتهم في أصحاب الجنة وعد الصدق الذي كانوا يوعدون والذي قال لوالديه أف لكما أتعدانني أن أخرج وقد خلت القرون من قبلي وهما يستغيثان الله ويلك آمن إن وعد الله حق فيقول ما هذا إلا أساطير الأولين.
حسبك عزت. Inshallah, wait for a minute. We have Sister Zahra from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, go ahead and read from ayah number 15, please, of Surat Al-Ahqaaf, page number 504.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الإنسان بوالديه إحسانا حملته أمه كرها ووضعته كرها وحمله وفصاله 30 شهرا حتى إذا بلغ أشده وبلغ 40 سنة قال رب أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وأصلح لي في ذريتي إني تبت إليك من المسلمين أولئك الذين نتقبل عنهم أحسن ما عملوا ونتجاوز عن سيئاتهم.
Barakallah fiki. Very beautiful, Sister Zahra. I know that, mashallah, you're imitating Sheikh Abu Bakr al-Shatri. You're doing a great job. And it is perfectly fine to adopt a Sheikh, to listen to his recitation, and especially if he is a professional reciter. MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. One just little observation in the word ذُرِّيَّتي in ayah number 15. وَأَصْلِحْ لِي فِي ذُرِّيَّتي. I love the way Izzat recited it. And obviously Sheikh Abdul Khaliq. Because the ra is thin, very thin, extremely thin. The ra has kasra. So that's why you say ذُرِّيَّتي. ذُرِّيَّتي. Not anyone can make it. Because, you know, most readers would say ذُرِّيَّتي, and they will mess up the dal and the ra, you know, because they are not familiar with the characteristics of the letters. We said it is very important to give each letter its due rights and characteristics. The characteristic of the ra, whenever it has kasra, is to thin it. But if it has fatha and if it has dhamma, it must be fattened. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Reem from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum. Go ahead, Sister Reem, and read from the beginning, please. Ayah number 15.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ووصينا الإنسان بوالديه إحسانا حملته أمه كرها ووضعته كرها وحمله وفصاله 30 شهرا حتى إذا بلغ أشده وبلغ 40 سنة قال رب أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وأصلح لي في ذريتي إني تبت إليك وإني من المسلمين أولئك الذين نتقبل عنهم أحسن ما عملوا ونتجاوز عن سيئاتهم في أصحاب الجنة وعد الصدق الذي كانوا يوعدون.
حسبك Sister Reem, Barakallahu Fiki. I wish we can know where is Sister Reem from, because obviously, mashallah, the non-Arab are doing a great job. You know, to me, better than many of, or most of the Arab. MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. Sister Zahra from Nigeria is amazing. Allahumma barik. We have Nasr from Oman, but before that, remember Sister Reem, as I was talking about the Ra. Not every time you see the letter Ra, you recite it thin. And not every time you read it, you recite it, or you pronounce it fat. Like every time the Ra has Fatha, or has Dhamma, then it is fattened. That's why when you say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, the Ra is fattened because it has Fatha. Nasr from Oman, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you for waiting, Akhi. Barakallahu feek. Go ahead and recite from the beginning. ووصينا الإنسان.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ووصينا الإنسان بوالديه إحسانا حملته أمه كرها ووضعته كرها وحمله وفصاله 30 شهرا حتى إذا بلغ أشده وبلغ 40 سنة قال رب أوزعني أن أشكرك نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا.
يا ناصر, Nasr, there is no kaf in ashkura. It is Rabbi awzi'ni an ashkura ni'mataka. There is no kaf. Okay? Say it again, please. Rabbi awzi'ni. Okay, no problem. I hope we can try again, inshallah, within this episode. So, we were talking about the Ra. And we're talking about listening to a professional reciter and trying to copy him and imitate him. Whom do I normally recommend? The reciters who worry most about the pronunciation of the letters, not just the ahkam. There are many reciters, they have melodious voice, but I wouldn't recommend them as tutors or somebody whom you imitate, because you're going to imitate their errors as well. They do not pay attention to the characteristics of the letters. They shorten the ghunna, whether in the ikhfa or the idgham. And mainly the characteristics of the letters are not very, very clear with them. And many of whom are Arab. In my latest visit to Malaysia, they took me to a masjid in Shah Alam. It's an area there in Malaysia. And once we entered the city, I heard a recitation, a beautiful recitation, echoing everywhere. And I saw that the minarets of one masjid is playing hide and seek with us as we were driving on the highway until we reached there. And the microphones and the sound of the reciter is echoing everywhere of Surat Al-Anbiya, I believe, yes, of Surat Al-Anbiya. And I asked the driver to stop. I said, like, I feel I'm in heaven. Then as we drove nearer to the masjid, I realized that the recitation is coming from the masjid. They recite the Qur'an between the prayers outside, not inside the masjid. But the speakers, you hear the recitation outside the masjid. The whole environment around you is listening to the recitation of Shaykh al-Husari. I paused and I listened to it. I felt like this is heaven on earth. Heaven on earth. Then when I visited another island which is called Langkawi, and as a matter of fact, my visit to the island was before. They come between Maghrib and Isha, between Asr and Maghrib. They recite the adhkar and so on, and you hear in the microphones a beautiful recitation for Sheikh Mashari as well. When you listen to a perfect recitation with the proper ahkam, in addition to the melodious voice, wallahi, I swear to Allah, I feel like I'm in heaven. Could heaven be better than that? You know, yet, yes, of course, heaven is better than that, because you're going to listen to this. You're going to listen to the recitation by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Nawal from the KSA. Sister Nawal, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
MashaAllah. Where are you from, Nawal?
Walaikum assalam.
Can you hear me?
I'm from PSA.
Oh, okay, MashaAllah. Go ahead and recite from ayah 15, from وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ إِحْسَانًا.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أولئك الذين نتقبل عنهم أحسن ما عملوا ونتجاوز عن سيئاتهم في أصحاب الجنة بعد الصدق الذي كانوا يوعدون. والذي قال لوالديه أف لكما أتعدانني أن أخرج وقد خلت القرون من قبلي وهما يستغيثان الله ويلك آمن إن وعد الله حق فيقول ما هذا إلا أساطير الأولين.
I want you to continue, Nawal. I'm enjoying your recitation. Could Nawal's parent, any of the parents, talk to me, please, if they're still on the phone? Finish the ayah first, Nawal.
أولئك الذين حق عليهم القول في قد خلت من قبلهم من الجن والإنس إنهم كانوا خاسرين. ولكل درجات مما عملوا وليوفيهم أعمالهم وهم لا يظلمون.
جزاك الله خيرا. حسبك Nawal, حسبك. Can I speak to any of the parents if they're still on the phone? Assalamu alaikum. Okay, can you guys hear me? Put them on the phone, please.
Walaikum salam.
Nawal, how old are you?
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. How are you?
I'm 9 years old.
MashaAllah. Where are you from, Nawal, originally?
India.
India. May Allah bless you and your entire country, not just your parents. I'm very blessed and I'm very pleased to listen to your recitation now, Nawal. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and your family and brothers and sisters. By that we come to the end of today's episode of Correct Recitation. We ended up with a beautiful recitation from Nawal, 9 years old. Thank you so much. Barakallahu feekum. And until next week, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Brothers and sisters, to increase your iman, read the miracle, recite the Qur'an. Recite it every day and do read it loud. The verses of Qur'an are all Muslims' pride. This miracle was revealed over a long time span, sent from Allah to to an angel, then to a man. That man was Muhammad, the best of creation. We were chosen to be part of his nation. He gave us a message, and that was Islam. So read this miracle, recite the Qur'an.